How's it going, guys? Today we are going to see how much of a difference a setup and the aggressive preset or the other setups stock that come with ACC, what the difference is. Now, this video is inspired by one, James Baldwin did a video, it might have been a year ago, where he compared the setups, but he also used on his third lap or whatever it was a top secret quote unquote setup that you can't tell what was making the difference. But today we're not going to be doing that. And it's also inspired by this tweet by Jardier on selling setups. So on people who, like Coach Dave Academy, who sell the setups, and people who run those setups. See what kind of difference that makes. So I have a setup from a YouTuber called Sherbert. Yep, that's the name. I'll link his channel down in the description. But he does amazing setups. They're very twitchy. Not twitchy, I would say twitchy as in a fast way. So you do want to make some changes when you go to race them. Like raising the wing or lowering the ride height to let it calm down a little bit. So we're going to get started. So as you can see, my best time in the Audi R8 is a 2017.792. We're going to go into the setup here. So 23 degrees, 29 track temperature. We're in hot lap mode. Here is the tires, 1 and 3. The mechanical grip, dampers, and aero. So there's all of that. We're not going to be using that right now. Oops, I wanted to go back to the aggressive preset. I'm not going to touch a thing for the first lap. So it's having us go 2 and 3 for TC. Let's get on. I will change the tires so I'm on fresh tires. The front and rear brakes, that'll be something to watch out for. Yeah, so as you can see, it's extremely different to what I have, or what I am using, I should say. I don't know how many attempts this will.
Sector 2 is a 10th off your best.
This will be. I would like to have a decent lap, so I might have to cut some of this out. I will already know that the tires will be severely underinflated.
That lap time was 2:17.79. It's your best lap in this session.
So even with the Delta, which is actually surprising, does not. Okay, so I tried to take my normal line, and all I did there was lock up on the curb.
You need to watch the track.
Yeah, I tried to take the normal line I usually take. As soon as I got my tire on the curb, it just locked up. So that has a big difference with because of the brake bias. I'm not an expert at setups by any means, I just know what the basics are. I can just feel it locking up into that corner, into the source, however you say it. We're just going to ignore that. I don't really care that much about setting a valid lap. I didn't gain that much time. I probably lost time. So I'm going to have to brake earlier. Yeah, still locking up the whole way into the corner. Understeer, then oversteer. down to Puong. Gotta... Oh, it just doesn't want to turn in. Yeah, you're just waiting forever for the front end to turn. I'm gonna be astonished if I even get into the 20s. Granted, this is my real only lap. Hold on. Go to timetables. So a 220.0. So the biggest difference is locking up into every corner. So I locked up into the sauce. Nothing really different up the Kemmel, or up Eau Rouge and Gradillon and down the Kemmel Straight, but into Lake Home, it's just gonna lock up that right front. And the car just hesitates to turn in. And same down into Ravage, I think it's called. I think this one, Ravage. That right front just gets eaten alive. And yeah, so on and so forth through the rest of the lap. I'm not gonna run through the whole thing. So we'll go back to the garage. And the only thing I will change, oh, that sucks, the hot lap mode. But I kind of have a good idea of where the tires need to be. Okay, so we'll start with the tire pressure. Every click on these little guys is 1 degree ambient. So I know I want to be at 26 psi, but it had me at 25.6. So basically, that ambient temperature would be 19 degrees. That would be optimal for that. So we're going to bump everything up. I know all of these should be at 26 or around there. The next thing I'm going to change, I'll leave this guy. Actually, I'm going to turn off TC2. So I think what TC2 is just, in some of the cars, just is how aggressive it is on the limiter. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure. Also, the front and rear brakes. So pad 2 is an endurance style pad. So everything over an hour, you want to be on pad 2. Now for a hot lap, unless you're really slow, it's not going to take you longer than an hour. So we're going to go down to 1. And I won't change anything else in here. I'm just going to change the basics. And I know, basically, about 56 for my brake bias. I won't touch my dampers because you need to go in depth for that. And aero, this can go down. So the brake ducts, the bigger the number, the more open, so the more air gets into the car or onto the brakes, but that also will vary your tire temperature. So every click on these is about 2 degrees on your tires. So everything like that. So we'll try that, see how that feels. I'll try to do the same thing, do 1 lap. So 220.0 to beat. The reason I didn't change traction control, I usually run 1 in my hot laps. I didn't change it because it can be very twitchy, where it can be hard to control. So we'll stick it on 2. So just down the Kemmel Straight, the brake ducts were up half a tenth. So the car turns in so much better. Still a little bit of hesitation. But right now I'm even. That delta number is my best lap delta. I took too much curb there. I shouldn't have hit that curb. It still understeers. It's not quite as nimble, but it's better. It's better. So I messed up there. I had to lift.
Mind these track limits, please, Zach.
Yeah, that corner should have been flat out. That was my driving mistake there, not the setup's fault. So 2:18.9. So there's a 1.1 second difference between these two. And honestly, it's probably 7 tenths, an extra 3 tenths faster on the lap just with the aggressive preset and what I changed, which is extremely simple stuff. But I lost a lot of time down the back straight through Blanchimont and through the bus stop because I couldn't take the second Stavlo flat out, which is driver mistake. So right now, I won't do this time live. I'll insert the clip of me doing it with the full setup. And if you didn't catch it the first time, I'll run through it again. So 26.1. So everything on here, you're at 0 degrees on the toe, maxed out camber on all 4. Like I said, 1 traction control, 3 ABS. Now the biggest stuff comes down to the setup is in the mechanical grip section here. That's where a lot of the minute control comes over, but it's very simple to understand when explained to you properly. There's a bunch of YouTube videos out there. I'll link some in the description. The dampers, which it's hard to come up with unless you use Motec, and aero. And so yeah, that's the difference. It's probably over a second between between the aggressive preset and very simple adjustments. And honestly, I think that first lap, I mean, yes, it wasn't amazing with just the aggressive preset, but I don't know if I could have maximized it much more without adjusting my driving style a maximum amount. But yeah, there's a pretty big difference, and you take your time to make a setup, and it will help you. So anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a good rest of your day. So this is my hot lap with my full setup that I used. It is a 217.792. So yeah, I did forget to mention the buying setups thing, which is another big deal of why I wanted to make this video. Now, I have bought setups from Coach Dave Academy. I used to run all of my McLaren stuff. I'm switching over to the Audi because I just want to try new things, and the Audi is rapid. It is very hard to control though. But I used a lot of Coach Dave Academy stuff, and they're very good setups, but just like the aggressive preset, they're very conservative. So it's hard to maximize everything. So there was a lot of things you would have to change. Most importantly, your traction control, your ABS, your brake bias, and I would mess with the preload differential a lot because I could feel a difference in that. So that's my opinion on the buying setups. Is it worth it? Depends how much money you have. If you want to buy a setup and don't feel like wasting time or searching YouTube for different setups and having to download all those files, do whatever you want. Do what you please. No one's stopping you or telling you to do it a different way.